I had a hard time with just making healthy choices in general. And now I compete.
Hey everyone, Rory here from Gym Partners. Our guest today is Charmaine. We're glad to have her on. As always, we got Matt with us. We hope you enjoy the episode. Could you tell us a little bit how you got into bodybuilding?
It's juicy questions already. I feel like it's a lengthy one for me, but I'll try to shorten it up. Um, I was in a toxic relationship previously. I was also having some health complications, and my mom was just like, trying to give me things to do, trying to cheer me up. And she asked me to go to a bodybuilding show with her to support one of her friends. And needless to say, it absolutely altered the entire path of my life. I went and I actually met Angelica. She was at the time Miss Bikini Olympia. I had no idea who she was, but I got to talk to her, and she won her calves. I could see them from like a mile away. So I was instantly like, whoa, this girl looks insane. So I was immediately drawn by that. But actually getting to speak with her, and I told her a little bit about where I was at currently in my life, and she had some really encouraging words for me that stuck with me even to this day. And I went and watched the show, and just seeing everybody be so empowered on stage, I was feeling so lost at the time. And so I was kind of craving that same feeling. And I decided from that day on, okay, I want to do this one day. And yeah, that's what got me into bodybuilding.
So, how long ago was that?
That was about 4 years ago.
4 years ago. So, could you tell us a little bit about your journey getting started? Some of the struggles initially when you maybe started seeing some results and the milestones and, your journey from day one to where you're at now.
Yeah, so when I first started, I was pretty overweight. I was about 65 pounds more than I really should have been to be healthy. And like I said, I had some health complications. I was pre-diabetic, and I was only 21 at the time. So it was scary for me to realize and come to terms that because of the decisions I was making, I was putting myself into an unhealthy lifestyle that could affect me for the rest of my life. And I started thinking about like my future. I want to be a mom one day, and I want to be able to be healthy for my kids and be able to, have kids, not have a life that where I'm bound to medications. And so going to the show definitely helped kickstart that healthy lifestyle for me. And I just wanted to feel better. So initially, I had the goal of bodybuilding, but I knew I needed to start small. I had a long way to go. I had no kind of foundation. I didn't have any kind of consistency from diet to just being in the gym frequently in general. So I started small, and I decided to just make healthy choices at first and cut out all of the, snacking and on chips and all the little junk food favorites I had at the time. I stopped drinking. I used to drink pretty heavily at the time, and I started just moving more. And eventually, I started seeing a little bit of results. My first about 2.5 months, I lost about 50, 55 pounds. And that kind of just blew up from there. I was craving that feeling. I started feeling stronger. I started feeling better, and started finding out who I was, and eventually got me to stand up for myself within that relationship I was in, and um, figure out who Charmaine really was and what I was capable of. After that, I set a goal for, okay, well, I lost the body fat. So now let's focus on what it's like to eat, to grow, and to build muscle. And I hired a coach, and decided to get really serious about it. And from there, I built for about a year and a half. I focused on just eating, living life, and understanding what it's like to be a bodybuilder, being on a meal plan, and lifting accordingly was different. It was a new avenue. And then I decided to prep for my first show. And now I am going into my third season as a competitor. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. I feel like, we're starting to see some recurring themes from people we had on, as far as, being in bad places in life and finding fitness is a way, to get to a better place. Just the character it takes to begin that journey and start making change. You end up a completely different individual. So
Yeah.
yeah, congratulations on that. So how far were you in when you started using a coach? Is that like 2 years in or?
It was actually, let's see, it was probably about 6 to 7 months in.
Yeah,
Honestly, if I could go back, I would have started a lot sooner with the
yeah,
coach. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I felt like
Um,
it cleared up a lot of the guesswork of it.
Yeah, another thing that you said or pointed out is, just wanting to be healthy. I think a lot of people think, bodybuilding or working out is, oh, you just want to look good, but
Yeah.
it's so much more than that. I've always said it's a side effect. Looking good is a side effect of feeling good, from working out. And so, yeah, that's excellent. Were you an athlete as a kid or anything? Did you play any sports growing up?
Yeah. So growing up, I did softball, but I primarily did cheer and dance. So that was pretty heavy into that up until high school. And then whenever I got into college, that's when that those values didn't really stick with me going into college. I had to figure out what it was like to not be reliant on, oh, I got practice after school today to help keep me active. And the freshman 15 was very
Yeah.
well for me. It was more like 125 for me, so but that's okay.
All right, that's awesome. Matt, do you want to chime in on anything?
Yeah, so Charmaine, thanks again for coming on with us. And yeah, I was going to tell you that, Rory and I were doing this podcast and we're trying to do it in a format where we're keeping each one short, but we're trying to have more of like a recurring conversation with people. So just to tell you, maybe in a few months, have you back and we'll go a little bit deeper into some more like specific type topics
Yeah,
than what we're going to do today. But just to kind of touch on some of those things, I guess from a broad general standpoint, what would you say is like one of the bigger mindset shifts that you had when you went from, like you said, making that decision from the bodybuilding show? Because I think a lot of people are going to watch and they're going to say, oh, well, she says she just cut out snack food, and as we know, it's not as like necessarily easy. So any like actual practical tips that you use to make that shift in your mind, or just a specific thing that occurred to help you do that process in the beginning?
yeah. I felt like, honestly, I feel like it's a choice every day, whether I decide to follow my plan or I decide to not. And I get asked that question a lot, and I feel like, to put it bluntly, I think about what I want the most. Do I want to reach my goal? Is this 2 minutes of, the satisfaction of going off of my meal plan, or not going and doing my cardio or my workout, worth not getting there? I have this talk often with a lot of my clients. I say small progress adds up, but also the small things of you not doing those things add up as well. So you want to sit back and you want to look at, what do you have more of? Do you have more consistent days, or do you have more non-consistent days? And just think back on, okay, assess it. What do I want most? And you're not always going to be perfect, but you can work at making those decisions add up in the long run. You might not have a perfect week, but you can look back and be like, okay, well, I know I wasn't perfect this week, but this week I am determined that I'm going to be better, because I want that goal in the long run, whether that's just to be healthier or maybe it's an aesthetic goal. But yeah, I feel like that's my approach to it.
Awesome. So let me ask you on that tip, because I love to dig in on this type of stuff, which is when you say for a client, for example, or just anyone that you may be helping, it's easy to again kind of say, well, just go back and see, did you have more better days or more worse days? For myself, I've always found this weird almost epiphany I had when I started tracking things. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to track my life and blah blah blah, but do you have any suggestions, or like what's your practical strategies for tracking this stuff? Because I do feel there's a big kind of thing that happens when people can actually see it. In other words, you could think, oh, I know I messed up Tuesday, Thursday, but for me anyway, there's something magical about seeing it in some type of physical or visual form. So do you have anything to say on that front?
Yeah, some people are very number oriented, and so with through coaching, I've gotten to meet a lot of different people, and I got to see how people work in terms of like what motivates them. For one method might not motivate another. So for me, I am just like you. I like to see the numbers. So if you show me I have more days where I'm not meeting this number, I'm like, oh, that's my way of getting to, okay, I need to work on that. But for some people, you have to start out a lot smaller. And you mentioning the like, I don't want to track my life thing. Um, I get that. It seems overwhelming, but I think that people put a little bit too much pressure and making it seem like a lot more than it really is. So I say start small. And if you're someone that's like not really there yet, okay, let's just focus on getting good food choices. And then when we get really good at that, then we can get into like the more nitty gritty little details. So I feel like that could just be a motivator alone. It's like, I might not just be at the point where I can track right now. That might be overwhelming to me, might be too soon. So I'm just going to focus on one thing at a time. Let's focus on, I have an issue with just making healthy choices in general. So let's just start there. That was me. I was someone that I had a hard time with just making healthy choices in general, and now I compete. So it took building up to being able to get to a point where I could feel comfortable like tracking. I felt like I had a handle on it. I could really focus on the small details and be able to handle them better rather than feeling super overwhelmed with it.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I've always tried to set myself up, for small wins each day. You can put too much on your plate, and even if you do, check off a number of things, and you still fall short, instead of feeling good about the things you did do, you end up feeling guilty about the things you didn't do, which is that cycle where you end up back to where you were, and not
Yeah.
making progress. I just think, I agree, and it seems to be, that too is a consistent theme that to get somewhere, it's these very small bite-sized chunks that you have to do at a time. And the cumulative effect of them over time, is tremendous. And it all is in just winning the single day. If you, structure your day correctly and start building a schedule with good habits, that is, how you're going to get anywhere. So, excellent advice. So yeah, we've been wanting to keep them pretty short. I don't have anything else for right now. We would love to have you back on. Thank you for your time, Matt. Do
Yeah.
you
Back.
anything else?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll definitely love to have you back. So, Charmaine, I'm the one with a million questions here. I got one more for you.
Sure.
So I wanted to find out just on that topic just now we were talking about, you said you're kind of a numbers person and that resonated with me because I'm definitely like a numbers dude. So
Yeah.
in your and also I definitely want to have you shout out your links and your coaching stuff if you'd like to put that out so we can have that on there for everybody. But
Yeah.
what in your experience since you've had it sounds like a good number of clients, we seem to be the numbers people. Could you give me like maybe a couple other like high level categories of personalities, let's call them, because I'm thinking about people in my life that I try to push to help, kind of get on a better ish path, let's just say. And I know I'm the numbers person and I like doing that stuff and it helps me, but do you have any other kind of categories of people you've come across in your coaching career that you could maybe kind of be like, look, some people like this, some people like this, some people like this.
Yeah, I have. So I have everybody from lifestyle clients that are beginners to I have competitors. So I have people I put on stage. I have the ones that I can get into the finer details with, and I feel like in bodybuilding, you have to focus on those things to succeed. And then I have those people that, we just need to work on even getting in the gym in the first place. So I feel like you have to assess on and put yourself in the position of like that person. And I feel like with me being that person that used to have a hard time just getting to the gym, I really am able to understand So I try to value that in my beginning and bring that into my coaching, and know that I'm not going to always have that competitor that's ready to go and is going to always hit their macros. And so I feel like just being able to put yourself in their shoes and being able to, okay, I need to bring myself down. This isn't like a very high level competitor. This is someone that I just need to get into the gym. So figuring out the advice that I need to give to that person to encourage them to just take that first step. Or, for instance, like my competitor, I might have someone that is having a hard time with, I don't know, like getting time managing in terms of like making sure they're able to get up early for their cardio. I can help them like, okay, well, let's look at like aspects of your life where you can fit that. So that might be like, you need to be more efficient in your workout, or I can get down to like more of those kind of details with them because they are at that point. So it might be, it's just more of a putting yourself in their shoes. Okay, I can be a little bit more detail oriented with this person, and this person, we can get them there, but it's just going to be a lot more time.
Yeah, that's great. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, if did you have something, Roy? I was going to tell Miss Charmaine here to just give us all of her links so everybody can find her if they're interested.
Yeah, I could keep going. So I guess we'll just plan to dig in deeper next time. So yeah, if you want to, I know I follow you on Instagram. We have a page, Gym Partners app, so we'll follow you from there as well. But if you want to, let people know your Instagram handle and TikTok or whatever else you're on.
Yeah, my Instagram is Charmaine the Great. My TikTok is Charmaine the Great with an underscore at the end. I have to fight the person that apparently is. So people,
Charmaine the greatest. How about
yeah.
that?
So as far as I'm a part of Team Legacy, we're a bodybuilding team. If you want to reach out for coaching, you can always message me on Instagram. TikTok just gave me the ability to accept messages, so you can reach me there. But Instagram is the easiest. You can always follow the Team Legacy page. Where on Instagram, it's at Legacy Physiques. We have a website as well, is teamlegacypro.com. So either one of those works.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Again, appreciate your time, and that's all we got. Have a great day.
Yeah, looking forward to being back.
Thanks, Charmaine.
Thanks. Bye.